Any guy with ambition, motivation, and honestly a little bit of heartbreak and not feeling enough starts a self-improvement journey and falls into the men's red pill philosophy. AKA, you start taking advice from the most egotistical, insecure, materialistic men on the planet. The self-improvement space on social media, for a fact, preys on men who finally want more from their life. They're tired of being a nobody and want to be somebody. They want to be enough. When I was 18 years old, I became one of these men. I hated the way I looked. I hated the way other men treated me, and I hated how invisible I was to women, even the ugly ones. And like pretty much all self-improvement journeys, I started off by going to the gym. I figured if I could look better, I could attract more girls and gain respect. And once I completed this body transformation, I needed to improve my social skills. Being in college was the perfect time, as it meant I was getting hammered on the weekends and going to college bars and talking to a bunch of girls. And this drastically improved my charisma. With my new confidence because of my new skills in talking and in fitness, I decided to start my own YouTube channel. And now I'm living a life that I was praying for 3 years prior. So great, right? The self-improvement journey changed my life, and it's way better than it was before. Well, unfortunately, the answer isn't a simple yes or no. Like many, I was influenced by red pill masculine influencers like Hamza and Andrew Tate, with these guys leading me into a false view of success, and ultimately it led me to self-serving ambition. This was the Andrew Tate lifestyle. Andrew Tate convinced me and a lot of other men to want things you don't really want for your ego. Fame, money, and loads of women. Anything short of this, wanting anything short of this, you're a brokey and a beta male. And Andrew Tate's so convincing and persuasive, he persuaded and convinced me that I wanted all these things. This was the end product of self-improvement. And the reality is, this view covers and masks mental, physical, and spiritual problems that all men who go down a self-improvement rabbit hole ultimately fall into, where their lack of life fulfillment and lack of success, and now their desire for it, fuels their idolization of women, money, and fame, creating hurt, insecure, fragile men who quite frankly are just assholes disguised as confident, rich, successful alpha males. Lucky for me, I had a spiritual awakening, if you want to call it that, this year, which led me to escape and heal from the damage hardcore self-improvement gave me. If you also want to heal from it, check out my free community. I'll leave a link to that in the description, but I'll mention that later in this video, because this video is ultimately about the dark side of self-improvement and making you become aware of it, because once you become aware of anything in your life, you can address it. And in this instance, you can actually approach self-improvement in a healthy manner, one that actually fulfills you and gets you closer to God. To really dive into the dark side of self-improvement, we must ask ourselves, why do young men start a self-improvement journey anyways? Because self-improvement is far more than just wanting to make more money. It's more than wanting to be healthy, be confident. I know that just sounds like an accurate description of a self-improvement journey, but it's not the truth, because the reality is most guys start a self-improvement journey to overcome insecurity. They just want to feel loved, respected, and enough. I will tell you something that most men don't realize, and once they do, their life gets a whole lot better. At a soul level, all men want are these things. They want to feel worthy, and many men turn to a relationship with a woman, or lots of women, as a solution to this desire. Ever wonder why so many self-improvement influencers transition into focusing on dating and relationships? Because they know most men want this, and that's where the money's at. Breakups highlight this even further, and that's when men's feelings of inadequacy reach a whole different level. A breakup in a man's life is finally when he realizes he has nowhere to go, nowhere to look. You can't blame anyone or the government anymore, giving you peak motivation to improve yourself. Sure, this works, but like I mentioned in the intro of this video, it just covers up problems. And I know this from my breakup experiences. But right before diving into them, something you can technically cover up is bad skin. So I'm excited to announce that Tish Hanley is sponsoring today's video. Let's be real, women can tell right away if you're giving off boy energy or real man energy. And the difference is as simple as how you present yourself. If your routine is messy, your grooming is inconsistent, and you're using whatever soap is in the shower, you're giving off boy energy. Grown men, they take care of themselves. They put in the effort and it shows. That's why I'm so excited to partner with Tish Hanley. Tish Hanley is the only skincare brand I personally work with. I believe it, I've seen the results, and I know you will too. Instead of guessing what to use, you get a complete system. It takes less than 2 minutes a day, No confusion, just results. Here's what comes in the box. A face wash to start and end every day, an exfoliating scrub to unclog those pores, an AM moisturizer and a PM moisturizer, so your skin is nice and fresh all day and all night. And this isn't just all hype, as Tiege Hanley has over 25,000 5-star reviews from happy customers around the world on their website. You even get a handsome guarantee, meaning if you don't love it, you get your money back. Trust me, once you see how easy it is to upgrade your skincare routine, you'll wish you started sooner. And right now, Tiege Hanley's hooking you up with 40% off your first box, plus a free gift worth over $20. No code needed, just hit the link in the description and the pinned comment to start your skincare routine today. Click that link, get 40% off, plus a free gift. And thank you to Tiege Hanley for sponsoring today's video. Breakups cover problems, and most men feel like it works, and I certainly did. I talked about my breakups more in depth in this video, but to quickly go into them, I had 3. My first one when I was 19. Instead of healing from that properly, I decided to go on a crazy gym run. The second one was when I was 23, which led me to go from 20K subscribers on YouTube to 100K in 4 months. So again, the breakup fueled my self-improvement journey, but I still had internal pain I hadn't healed from yet. So at this point, I was a very egotistical, red-pilled, selfish kind of guy. I'm being dramatic and kind of hard on myself, but compared to who I am now, it's the truth. And my last one was when I was 25, where I actually handled it properly and healed and found God. And this was a better transformation than the physique and money ones that I had prior. This quick clip summarizes how breakups lead to self-improvement.
It's a really good way to make sure your relationships don't develop. Once you go through a breakup, fall in love with self-improvement, compulsively make it a part of your life, and you'll realize that you will have a harder time connecting with people and your relationships will continue to fall apart. If you don't start practicing acceptance, then you will never be loved for who you are, which is why you want to be in a relationship. If you don't know how to do that with you, you can't give that to others, then there is no basis of acceptance. It's looking at people and constantly trying to criticize and improve them, not being embraced, not being received. Typically what happens when people are embraced and received when they have inadequacies is that inadequacies transform. When somebody embraces their inadequacies, they create vulnerability. By the way, you create a deep bond with people that tend to present them. Of course, it deteriorates your relationship because you're hiding behind self-help as a mask, when really the people that actually have something to give and help others are connected to their humanity. Stop rejecting yours.
Not healing from a lack of self-worth and being enough leads men to becoming fake alpha males, which ultimately is the product of self-improvement for the most part. I've talked about this in a lot of videos already, but since men don't heal from breakups and societal rejection, which is like bullying basically, they don't heal from these correctly, as they view these rejections as a problem to solve, they never attract love in relationships. Rather, they repel it away. And when I say love, I'm talking about relationships with a woman and friendships. Because let's face it, a bromance is better than any relationship. Think about your most recent breakup or societal rejection. Did you ever analyze to see what went wrong and why you feel the way you do? Maybe you wonder how you could do the relationship better and how you can mature. Of course not. You ask yourself the iconic question that leads men to this red pill crap, this bad self-improvement rabbit hole. How can I get better so this doesn't happen again? You think you don't have respect. You think the girl left you because you weren't good enough. And that's what most self-improvement influencers are going to tell and teach you. They'll be like, yeah, realize you're a beta male and use your pain to become too good for that girl and sleep with a bunch of women so you can make her feel jealous. Because bitter revenge is the best medicine. And I think it comes clear in that way, self-improvement pushes love away. Well, true love anyways. If you want to attract a shallow, superficial woman who's probably an atheist, by all means do this. If you did a healthy form of self-improvement, grieved your breakup, healed, recognized the breakup or societal rejection is just a sign and a lesson to learn to love yourself and to love God, you would attract the best relationships in your life. And this type of self-improvement is what I teach in this channel, so subscribe. And I also teach it and help you heal in my free community with my free course inside, which again is completely free. I'll leave a link to that in the description. Every red pill self-improvement influencer, alpha male, all they really want is a relationship with a great woman. You may think that you or they want to sleep with a bunch of women, when that's not true. Any man who sleeps with a lot of women was hurt in their past and are too afraid to be vulnerable, because in their past and they believe in their future, if they love a woman, they will leave him and he'll be broken again. What if I told you that sleeping with loads of women is a protection mechanism? One red pill and self-improvement influencers disguised as fulfillment. There's a reason sex before marriage and sleeping with loads of women are sins. Not because God doesn't want you to have fun, because God created fun to begin with. Rather, He doesn't want you to do that because it's damaging. And it's a damaging act disguised as fun and pleasure. Identifying what sins are should be used as their protection and ultimately guidance to real fun, fulfillment, and joy. And in terms of relationships, it's one with a woman or friends that elevates you. I talked about finding a godly woman in this video because men have the wrong idea of finding the one or finding the woman. Guys think that women will distract you, particularly ones who are hardcore into self-improvement. When in reality, biblically and in the #1 success book of all time, Think and Grow Rich, they'll talk about and deem it a fact that the right woman elevates you. Another not talked about dark side of self-improvement is not even the fault of these crap influencers that I've been talking about, but rather the person who absorbs their content, is the try-hard self-improvement guys. These are the people who use self-improvement as an excuse or just engage with it so much that they don't live life. These people go so hard on themselves to make every ounce of their life productive. An anecdote for this type of person is if their childhood friend asks them to hang out and they stop hanging out with them because they aren't good enough anymore. And even if they were, hanging out is a waste of time. In my life, I know a guy like that. He's so obsessed over self-improvement, and we go to the same gym, and I chatted with him at the gym for like 30 minutes. And at the end of the conversation, he says to me, we talked for a while, but it's fine because at least it was productive stuff. It's like, bro, if I talk to you about the latest UFC fight or something like that that's interesting to me, and it was just a fun conversation, would you have gone home and harmed yourself? I know it's exaggerated, but that's the best way for me to illustrate this. I'm like, just live life, man. Life's supposed to be fun, at least at times. And this kind of mentality keeps men so isolated. The hyper-focused men who are super ambitious, the self-improvement mindset makes them so hyper-focused on making friendships with men who are super ambitious, and they become detectives with the women they date, if they even go out at all, on their red flags. It's like, yes, I'm very big on having a great environment. Where you live, the friends who are around you are very important to where you go. And honestly, a high-quality woman is the top of that list. But going too crazy on it is gonna keep you isolated and sad. And about the sadness, you won't even know because you're too much in your self-improvement mind. You don't even have enough time to feel that emotion. That emotion your soul and God wants you to feel. Because believe it or not, if you don't feel emotions you have stored inside your body, they manifest in your life. Ever wonder why your buddy is so unlucky? Probably because he hasn't healed from his past and he has bitterness, resentment, sadness in his body that are manifesting in his life. I know it goes crazy. I know